got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build.
The House of Usher. The fall of the House of Usher. It took me about probably 3 days. So weird, but whatever. It took me about 3 days to finish this series. So I'm doing this because this is something that I've actually always done with my mother. If you've seen any of my other theater works, darling, there's a playlist there. Ever since a little girl, my mother would sit with me after the movies we'd watch, and we'd talk about the true meaning of the movie, which would be how we interpret it, because that could be the only true meaning. The meanings could derive from person to person, but it's what that individual takes from the movie is what the true meaning is. When individuals at large take away the same meaning, then that is an agenda. So watching the fall of the House of Usher was absolutely amazing. I am a fan of Edgar Allan Poe. I've read a few of his books, and if my imagination weren't so vivid, I would have read many more. I fell into more of the love novels, unfortunately. This series, they had to make a series out of it. This movie would have been absolutely too long. Like most books are extensively long. However, this movie was based off of a short poem by Edgar Allan Poe. I'm not sure if it was later made into a book. We'll see that up there, not later. And it was the most riveting and tragic thing I'd seen in the longest time. So basically this entire series is about a man, Roderick Usher. And it just began with his mother being sick, mentally ill. She'd had 2 children by a powerful man who worked at a company called Fortunato. She had succumbed to her mental illness and passed away. The 2 children, Roderick has a sister, Madeline, I believe, or he calls her Mads. So, I believe it's Madeline. And I believe they were twins. They were definitely born on the same day. It was mentioned later that they came into the world together. They thought their mother had passed. They buried her. They didn't want to be taken to an orphanage. She clawed her way out of that casket because she wasn't dead. And she came all the way to the man's home who had impregnated her and left her. And she killed him. And then years later, the 2 children got jobs at the company. Another man was left in charge. He came up with a fantastic idea, a drug, a safe pain-killing drug. The story is about a CEO of a pharmaceutical company turned billionaire, like multi-billionaire, and so what Roderick had done over the years after he climbed his way to the top, not before committing murder and, spoiler alert, and making a deal with the devil, but I think pretty much halfway through the series you you kind of know. I don't know what everybody thinks that Verna is, but she's not God. She's not the Grim Reaper. This woman had come to them the very night that they had killed a man named Griswold. He was left in charge of the company after Roderick's father died. Roderick's father did not recognize him or Madeline as his children. And so, I can't say that there had always been resentment there, but of course, Roderick was really good at hiding how he felt and striking later. So over the years, Roderick had accumulated such a huge family, a child. He had a child with almost every nation of woman. And sometimes more than one in that nation. He had 6 children, knowing that they would only live up for so long, that he would reign only for so long. And what he did with that time was take part in the murder of millions of people with his pharmaceutical creations, and his whole legacy died with him. He made a deal fortune for a certain time, and your legacy dies with you, or they can be not rich for the rest of their lives, for their entire lives, longer lives. So the offer that was proposed to him was, you will reap the benefits of the darkness you create now and over time. And your light, your legacy, which is the only light that could come out of such darkness, they will perish. So you will allow for the children, your children, the next generation, to fit the bill. So it's just like a saying goes in the Bible. It's not a saying actually. Nothing in the Bible is just sayings at all. But suffer the children will suffer for the parents' sins. It's not all dictation, because whether we like it or not, we all do suffer for our parents' sins. However, whatever our parents were able to accumulate in this world, get their hands on, the stake in, a footing in, before we get here, is what they have to start out with us. And if you can be sure that an entire nation of people will start out with nothing, knowing that that nation will eventually be an opponent, you wouldn't care about the children. You would be willing to do that, to suffer them all for the one and only purpose. So, lots of things happen in the movie. It's not a complete spoiler alert. I really want you guys to go and watch that series on Netflix. The fact that he had a child from so many nations, I thought was very interesting and purposeful. The children reaping what he sowed was purposeful. Something very interesting she said is, your time is almost up. And you know that they will fall with you. There will be none of you left. You made that deal a long time ago that you and your people would reign for a certain amount of time. And after that time, nevermore. That movie wasn't just a series on Netflix. It's an interpretation of a certain group. And sure as shit, that time is coming up. And their entire legacy and reign of people that he has accumulated. To counteract all of his unsavory works will all fall with him on the same day. Maybe even in the same hour. But it will all fall down someday. So that was a bit of comfort. The movie had beautiful injustice. The movie had ugly injustice and beautiful just. It brought a realization to me that even in the end, when all evil is accounted for and locked away, and all the good are left to rise and keep rising, it's not going to take away what happened. It's not going to eliminate the pain or the suffering, the trauma. It's not going to make that as though it didn't happen. But there is something that we all can do each and every day, right? We can be sure to always choose our hand, the hands that we were dealt. We can choose not to cheat, because we know in the end, you can't cheat a game that's already won.
It's time. It's time. It's time.
Your Honor, no matter how much evidence stacked against them, the USHER crime family stands stronger and darker than ever before.
Anyone comes after us, we will exhaust our arsenal until the threat's neutralized.
By neutralized, you mean sued into oblivion on the streets?
Neutralized. Like dead.
You guys, we really should get together more often. It's just a balm for the soul.
Roderick Usher, your family is a collection of stunted hearts whose time has come.
Who are you?
Consequence. And tonight is consequential. I'm gonna head out. I've got an appointment with your dad.
Your brother's dead.
This is tragic, but a few "my heart will go on" tweets will pad it out.
This was no accident. You have been targeted. And this woman knows everything.
It's time, Roderick. What did you do?
I'm afraid you're ringside for my reckoning, old friend.
I don't even own anything funeral black. Wait, that's not true. It's just fucking satin.
Satin is silk for poor people, and no one should wear it to a funeral unless they died in it.
Are we safe?
If we don't stop her, you won't have a family left.
If
Frankly, I think you've forgotten what I am.